another video. My name is Rochelle, and before we get into this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share. If you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you and welcome back. So as you can see in the title below, I'll be sharing some helpful tips out there for international students. So for me personally, these tips that I'm about to share, I did do them myself when I got here. So I think it's important just to share. For me, I don't gatekeep info, so I'm just gonna be sharing with you guys. So if you're new to Canada, you move here as an international student, first step that I'm sharing is please make sure that you open a bank account. Go to your closest bank or just do some basic research to see which bank best fits your need and open an account. Open a checking and a savings account. And also please get a credit card. They do offer credit card to international students because when I came to Canada, I was offered a credit card and I took it. And the reason why I say please get a credit card is if you're planning on living in Canada long term, you need to have credit. No credit is as bad as bad credit. So yes, it's important to get a credit card to start building your credit. You can use it to pay your phone bill, buy groceries, pretty much pay for whatever you want, and just make sure that you pay it off before your due date. So yes, building your credit is important because if, let's say for example, when you're ready to get an apartment, if you don't have any credit, no one gonna want to rent to you. If you want to buy a car, how will the lenders know whether or not they can trust you? You're gonna pay them on time. So that's why it's important to make sure that you open a bank account, start getting your finances together, especially when you're thinking about staying here long term. Also, please make sure that you apply for your SIN. So go to your closest Service Canada and apply for your SIN. And all you need to get your SIN, which is your social insurance number, that is your so that's the number that you will need, especially when you're looking for jobs. You just go with your work permit and your ID. And then not just ID, your passport, sorry. And speaking of ID, if you're moving here, what I would recommend is if you had a driver's license in Jamaica or back home, when you come to Canada, please think of, try to go to Service Canada and ask them what's the best way for you to try to convert your license. Because the thing is, for me, I didn't have a license back home, and then when I came here, I had to wait 1 full year after I got my class 7, which is my learners. I had to wait 1 full year before I was eligible to do the road test. So yeah, I had to wait 1 solid year. So that's why I'm saying so yeah, try to find a way to get it converted. Or if that's not possible, try to get your learners right away, especially if you're thinking about getting a car long term in Canada. So the next step that I would be sharing is having a support system both in Canada and Jamaica. For me personally, I did have a great support system. My family was my rock, because especially in a new country, you don't really know anybody, you're here by yourself, you can get depressed. You can get extremely depressed. So just having that support system where you can have people to count on back home. And then also here, please make sure that you have a great support system here in Canada. For me, I still do have a pretty great support system. For me, when I just came here, even up to this day, my best friend Jojo, hi Jojo, we met in college, we did the same program, and we're friends to this day. Even where I was living, because I rented in the house that I was living in, we were all Jamaican girls. So my landlady, she rented out to Jamaican international students. So we were all ladies from Jamaica living in the house, and there were no bad vibes. There were no bad vibes. It was all positive vibe. It was such a vibe We looked out for each other. It was such a positive experience. It was never a situation where I would buy my groceries and someone would take it. No, we all respected, we had boundaries, and we looked out for each other, as I said, and it was just such a vibe. And even to this day, me and these ladies, we still remain friends. Although I haven't seen them since I left Ontario. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I no longer reside in Ontario. I live in Alberta, and we still keep in contact. And why I say it's important to have a great support system in Canada is, listen, being here by yourself is rough. It is rough. You don't have any family, you don't know anybody. And imagine you go to school for the entire day. School is very stressful. Then let's say you work after school, you had like another stressful day, and you come home to this unhealthy, negative environment where you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel welcome. That can take a toll on your mental health. That can take a toll on your mental health. And for me, I take mental health very seriously. So I'm saying, please make sure where you are living is a completely healthy environment, you know? And also, I would say utilize the resources that your college provides. For me, I utilize the ish out of the resources that my college provided. And what I mean by this is, for example, student services. Anything that I needed, I would always go to student services. If I'm not sure, I am going there. And even when it came to me applying for my postgrad work permit, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know the steps. And I went there. They gave me the instructions and the details of how to go about applying for my postgrad work permit. And I did that without even trying to consult with anybody or asking anybody any questions about how to do this. I remember when I started applying for professional jobs after I finished college, I made an appointment at the career center. I went there, they helped me and fixed my resume and gave me like tips how to conduct myself in an interview. And by the end of that, I was successful. I had like 3 job offers. So that's why I'm saying, please use the resources that your college provides. And also, I would say, if you have plans of relocating to another province, like for me, by my 4th semester, I knew that I wanted to migrate to Alberta. Did I know anybody in Alberta? No. I even remember when I told my mom that I'm thinking about moving to Alberta. She was like, why are you moving to Alberta? Who do you know there? And I'm like, Mommy, I literally knew nobody in Canada and I moved here by myself. So I am moving. So by 4th semester, I had made the decision that I am moving to Alberta. For me, I did my research. So please make sure that you do your research about these provinces that you're planning on moving to. So if you are accustomed to, or if you like a certain type of lifestyle, especially nightlife, if you want to relocate to, let's say, Alberta, if you're coming to Edmonton, you're not gonna get that here. Because for me, I'm not a nightlife person. I'm more of going to work, coming home. I mean, I do occasionally go out like for drinks or dinner with my friends. That's okay for me. But if you're like the type that love the nightlife, Edmonton is not for you. If you're looking for like nightlife, I would recommend Calgary, which is also in Alberta, Vancouver, Montreal, or you can stay in Toronto. So yes, if you're planning on looking out to, if you want to relocate to another province, please make sure that you do your research, because it doesn't make sense that you relocate somewhere and you're like, this is not what I expect. Because if you're moving out of province, you need to take into consideration, do they have reliable transportation? Is it easier to find jobs there? What is the weather like? Yes, weather is an important factor, especially here in Canada. Because for me, before I moved to Alberta, one of my friends, also she was my housemate. She moved a few months prior to me, and she did give me a lot of advice because she told me like, Rochelle, the weather here, it gets extremely cold. It go like below minus 35, up to minus 40. That's how cold it gets here in Alberta. And then also, as it relates to public transportation, the bus comes like every 30 minutes, you know, especially if you're coming from like Toronto, where the bus comes like every 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, so be prepared. So that's why I'm saying, if you're planning on relocating to another province, please do your own research and make sure that you have an open mind. So yes. And also, I would say another advice, please explore the city that you live in. And when I say explore, yes, I understand that you're here as a student and that's the goal. You want to stay here permanently, you want to get your PR. But please explore the city, go out, enjoy, have fun. For me, I remember when I came to Canada, by like a week later, I was downtown Toronto. And I remember telling my mom about this, and she's like, aren't you scared like you'd get lost? And I'm like, no. Like, I want to explore. I even remember before like I got a job while I was going to school, before I got my first part-time job. Every day I would go to Scarborough Town Center. So if you're from Ontario, if you live in Toronto, you would know STC. Like every day I went there just to explore, like, you know, get acquainted with the environment that I'm in. So I would say, yeah, explore the city. And I would say also, next tip that I would share is please file your taxes. Yes, as international student, please file your taxes. Right now is tax season. So I know like colleges will send out your TE or whatever. I don't remember what that your tax slip. And also, if you're paying rent, you can use your rent receipts. If you have bus passes, please do not throw them away. Use your bus passes to file your taxes. That's my kid. So another tip is to please have a small group of friends. Please have a small friend group. I'm not saying to go out there to find and pick up random strays and be like, oh yeah, this is my friend. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Surround yourself with positive people that you know that will be there for you. People that you can rely on, because you do need friends, especially in Canada. You cannot be by yourself and say, oh, I can do this on my own, I don't need anyone. You do need friends, because it do get tough. So I would say get friends. And I'm saying with friends, just people that you can rely on, relate to, that are genuine. So I would say yes, get a small group of friends, because even for me, I have two friends. One is my best friend and one is my close friend. And we met in college and we're still friends to this day. Like, we helped each other throughout college and just giving advice with jobs and just being there for each other in whatever we need. So I'd say get friends. Also, another advice is please get familiar with the bus routes. Please get familiar with the bus routes. Always use Google Maps. For me, Google Maps was my best friend, even to now, even to this day, because for me, I don't really know everywhere I'm going, so I still use I rely heavily on Google Maps. So yes, so when I say where was I? Yeah, with the bus routes, I say please get familiar with the bus routes. Please check the timing of the bus, because it doesn't make sense. Let's say, for example, you're going to school and you're taking the number 5 bus, and the bus comes every 10 minutes, and you're there waiting for 10 minutes in this cold for this bus. So just download the app. If you're in Toronto, you download the TTC app and you track the bus. So you know that if you live close to the bus stop, you know the bus is coming in the next 2 minutes. You leave out 3 minutes, and by the time you get there, it's time to hop on that bus. Yes, so get familiar with the bus. Yes. And also, most importantly, the final tip that I will be sharing with you guys, please be aware of scams. And when I say scams in general, CRA, all these government entity, they do not call you, they do not text you. So please beware of these scammers, because a lot of times they will call you, especially from an area code. Even for me, although I live in Edmonton, Alberta, I didn't change my number. I still have a 647 area code. And sometimes I see numbers with 416 or 647 area code. Those are Toronto area code, and I'll pick up my phone. And it's like, oh, this person telling me that they have suspected fraudulent activity on my SIN. Those are scam. Hang up your phone. So yes, be aware of us. Be aware of scammers. They are here. Also, sometimes you'll get like random text messages. Oh, what? Oh, your BMO account is disabled. Please log into this app. And you know that you're with RBC. Like, make it make sense. So yes, be aware of scammers. They're out there. So again, these are all useful tips that I think should be helpful for international students out there, not just international students, newcomers as well. So if you enjoyed this video and you thought that it was extremely helpful, please like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. And thank you so much for watching.